the first photo is this. Now I want you all to come up with something funny, with something innovative, and let's see who is the most innovative person in the meeting right now.
When the sales pitch gets wrong.
Okay.
When someone says bad about ITC.
Okay. That's very appropriate. And I can see that is also Nitika when someone pronounces her name incorrectly or spells her name incorrectly, like Nikita or Nitvedita, someone said.
No, that's the reaction when your boyfriend is flirting with someone else.
Right. Okay, anyone else? I can see when you want to say your man ki baat, but someone says sun meri baat. Okay. Okay, let's move towards the next photo. And this is, the photo is as amazing as the person himself, and we all love him. So the person is Toastmaster Shrey, and come up with great captions, guys.
Shrey on 14th Feb.
All right. It's not very far. It's like 13 days only left.
तो प्यार है किसी और का, तुझे चाहता कोई और है.
Right.
Wish the rose was something else.
How can this rose be innovative?
Right.
Whenever a beautiful girl enters the room.
People didn't get me. That was a perfect thing for this picture.
That's
if you look at his eyes,
yeah, Malika, that's it. Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. That's something going on between you two, and we don't know about the context. And it's like Romeo from the Romeo and Juliet to me. She looks like Romeo. Let's move towards the next photo. And ironically, she is teacher, and
Desperate
she
single.
tells.
इसका ये भी हो सकता है. I'm sorry, Tushar. It could be a desperate single.
Okay.
Desperately single.
So the next person is a teacher, and she usually tells people to not use mobile phones in the classroom and in the meetings. But here she is using mobile phones in the meeting. So come up with great caption, guys.
आज क्या खाऊं? गोलगप्पे या मोमोज?
Okay. Or it
When
could be
mom says आज खाने में घिया बना है.
Or when mom says come back home before 6.
Rules are for students only.
Okay.
इसकी भी शादी हो गई.
That was a good one. Okay. With that, for now we have a time crunch, and that's why I came up with only 3 photographs. Maybe next time I will come up with some more. And with that, let me now hand over the stage to the host for today's meeting, the very incredible, the very amazing, the president of our club, Toastmaster Sukhmani.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tushar. And today we are celebrating a very special occasion. Our club has turned 22 this month, and we are the Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. Every week when we say that we provide a mutually supportive and encouraging learning environment, each meeting we stand by it. The proud godmother of all the Toastmasters Club of Delhi, and we have given birth to so many Toastmasters Club in District 41. With a legacy of more than 22 years, since then we have produced many great communicators and leaders throughout the country, sometimes indirectly and sometimes directly. And individuals here have been transformed into communicators, communicators have been transformed into leaders, and members grow here with support and guidance. There is no such thing called criticism here. We always give constructive feedback to our members, guests, and everyone. And it has been such a learning and encouraging environment for everyone, and it has accelerated our learning and progress by so many stones. So today is the chance for us to look back over the years since the club was chartered and reflect on how it has shaped us. Let us be proud that we are a small part of this great legacy that the club has produced, and maybe even take it to greater heights. With that, I would like to open meeting number 1019, and we'll start with the introduction of guests. I see guest Namita today. Guest Namita, could you please unmute yourself and share how you came to know about our club?
Hi, Sukhmani. Hi, everyone. So I'm Namita. How I came to know about this club is I was exploring. I wanted to improve on my public speaking skills. So I was trying out different. I heard from a friend that Toastmasters is a good platform for that. So a few months back, I tried one that was I think some different club in Delhi. So I joined like for a few days, but that was on weekends and I wasn't available. So I searched on internet what all other clubs we have. So then I found one which is this. So yeah, that's how I'm here.
Thank you for joining us today. Next, I see guest Sandeep with us. Guest Sandeep, could you please unmute yourself and share how you got to know about our club?
Sure, I have unmuted myself. And hi everyone, I'm Sandeep. How did I come to know about this Toastmaster thing is, yeah, somebody shared me this meetup link on WhatsApp, and I was like figuring out where should I go, and with this eventually Toastmaster thing came up in front of me in terms of other sections or groups on this portal. I knew about Toastmaster earlier in one of my organization, and there we had this thing. I mean, in terms of a regular thing, and I think in that organization it was like on every Wednesday they had some session called Toastmaster, and it was there on Yammer, if you guys are familiar with it. So there was somebody who was like again a part of a bigger Toastmaster group, and he was the leader of conducting these Toastmaster meetings there. I unfortunately forgot the name of that Sadarji, and he was the one who used to do this thing. So I've been a part of this thing briefly, so to say, but yeah, that's what my association with Toastmaster is until now. But yeah, as soon as I joined this session, I can see a whole lot of different world here. So yeah, thanks for letting me in.
Thank you so much for joining. Next, I see guest Koshin with us. Guest, could you please unmute yourself?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Koshin. I hail from New Delhi. I got to know about Toastmasters from Instagram, and it was a feed which came in, and I then researched about it, what exactly Toastmasters do as an organization. Then I got really intrigued about the kind of work you all do. So thought of joining it, and looking forward to put my best foot forward and joining this community.
Thank you for joining. Next, I see guest Manish. Guest Manish, we have seen you before, if I am remembering correctly.
Yes, please. I attended the Toastmaster meeting with you earlier also, and I would love to attend Toastmaster meeting with you again and again, because I get an opportunity to learn something from you. I live in a small town. Toastmaster has made this world as a global village. Without flying in a country, without coming in a country by train or bus, sitting in my comfort zone in my room, I'm going to learn something from you today. Over to the Toastmaster, please.
Thank you so much for joining us. Next, I see guest Ganesh with us. Guest Ganesh, could you please switch on your camera and mute yourself? Maybe they are not near the camera. I see there's a member or guest by the name of Zoom new user. So if it's a guest, please share your introduction. Or we'll move on to guest Nitish. Guest Nitish.
Hey everyone. I actually joined the last meeting as well on, I guess, 25th January. And as I told at that time also, that she recommended this group to me. And I'm actually looking forward to joining this group since Ashish, I guess, explained how they're going forward with the membership. So let's see how it goes.
All right, thank you. We have guest Santosh with us. Hello, could you please share something about yourself?
Yeah. Hello, Toastmasters. I'm Santosh. I'm an agricultural postgraduate. Today, I am here to improve my public speaking and communication skills. I got to know about this club through YouTube. Then I searched about the nearby clubs. So I got into this Toastmasters New Delhi. I had been to four sessions earlier. So I had dropped the 2 months in between. So I'm back again. So
Thank
I
you
look
so much
forward
for
to.
joining. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining. We have guest Vishal with us. Guest Vishal, could you please share your introduction if you can hear me?
Hello, am I
Hello.
audible? Hello.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm so sorry, my camera is not working. And hello,
It's okay.
everyone. First of all, and thank you so much, for giving me opportunity to join up over here. And I wanted to join the Toastmasters just to improve my public speaking and leadership skills.
All right. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And to all the guests, there is, other than the promotional things that our PR team is doing, we have a Google form. So if you could just fill it, and it will take 30 seconds, and then we can move on with the meeting. All right, with that, let's begin today's meeting. So our meeting today is very special. Other than the fact that we are celebrating the birthday of our club, we also have a very special session lined up with Toastmaster Aditya Gupta. So please stay, everyone. We have a very short meeting today, and then we have a module. So let's start with the trolley problem. If you have seen the poster, you know that today we are talking about the trolley problem. So imagine that you are the coach of a trolley that is moving very fast and on a very high speed. And on the track ahead, there are 5 people. They cannot hear you, they cannot escape, and you cannot stop the trolley. But what you can do is press a button that will switch the trolley to a second track. But here's the problem. The second track also has one person on it. So there are 5 people on one track and 1 person on the other track. And you have the switch. So what do? Do you pull the switch? This, ladies and gentlemen, is the trolley problem. And today, we are going to learn what goes on in our mind as we make decisions. For the benefit of the guests, the structure of the meeting is divided into 4 parts. First, we have our prepared speeches, in which members were given their objectives a week back, and now they have prepared a speech according to that. Then we have our table topic session. That is an impromptu session where even guests can participate. Following that, we have our general evaluation section, in which everyone who comes on this stage today is going to be evaluated. And following that, we have our very special module on international speech contest. So now that we know the structure of the meeting and we know the problem, I want a volunteer who heard my problem and answer. Toastmaster Himanshu, did you hear the problem?
Toastmaster Sukhmani, I did not. I'm sorry.
Listener, please take note. All right. So I see Toastmaster Ashish has raised his hand. Yes, Toastmaster Ashish.
Well, the problem over here is a dilemma, whether to take an action or not to take an action. No matter whether you press the switch, press the lever and transfer the trolley to the other track, or you don't, there will always be a dilemma. And the only solution could be to remove the dilemma. There is no correct answer that you press the lever or you don't. You have to first remove the dilemma. And how to remove the dilemma is that you have to think that whether you press the lever or not, you are taking an action. Not taking an action is not an option. Even if you choose not to press the lever, that is also a decision or that is also an action. So once you take that into account, I would personally press the lever and transfer the trolley to the other track where there is only 1 person rather than the track where it is 5.
On that, I have a counter question for you. What if the 1 person is someone you know and the 5 people are strangers? What do you do in that situation?
Well, again, we have to take all the information that's available to us into account. If there is one person that I know I would definitely not change the lever. So, I mean, just taking into account the additional information that I've got.
All right. So, okay, we have our answer. Do I have a different answer? Does someone else want to volunteer? Any guest who has heard me?
I can go in if you allow me.
Sure. Please go ahead.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't have a different answer from what Ashish has said. I'll surely, I mean, my mind and all the sense which I have is telling me that I'll divert that trolley towards the track which has got just one life on it. So,
And why would you do that? Like, what is your rationale behind it?
very, very simple rationale behind that. Save 5 people and compromise one person's life.
So 5. It's basically saving. It's basically for the greater good, because one person.
At the end of the day, somebody is going to lose life, and if I am the person who's going to decide which way the troll is going, then and it's I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, if it goes towards that track where 5 people are there, then it will be 5 lives lost. So save 5 and compromise.
Sacrifice. Okay. All right. So I have some answers with me now, and more on that later. Let me first call on the pillars of the meeting. We have our grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Arjun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sukhmani. Shrey, can I have you on the virtual stage? Please unmute yourself.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, bro. So, Shrey, I love you a lot, and Valentine's Day is also around the corner. So, I would like to take this platform to express my love for you. Hence, I have 2 date proposals for you. Here goes the first one. Shrey, I loved you. You were so handsome. Will you came to the date with us? And here's the second one. Shrey, I love you. You are so handsome. I really like your goatee style, Dil Chahta Hai beard, and your dimples, man. I'm blown away with them. Will you come to the date with me? Which one do you like?
No, because I'm straight.
Okay.
Because I'm straight, so no.
But the second one was much better. So if you have to impress people of Shrey's league, you'll have to be very conscious of your grammar, the vocabulary, and your lexical resources. As a grammarian for the day, I will be taking note of your grammar, pronunciation, and the vocabulary that you're using while coming up on the stage. And the word of the day is ambivalent, which means having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something or someone. For example, when it comes to the election, I'm usually ambivalent about the candidates present in the election. I request everyone to use this word, and if anyone uses this word, please show a thumbs up, and I will be presenting my report towards the end of this meeting. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Arjun. Next, we have the timer for the day, Toastmaster Monica.
Thank you, Sukhmani. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So I just want to share one of my experience. When I was in my college time, I used to commute through train, local train. So there was a very important day in my college. And when I reached the railway station, the train was saying me goodbye. So when I just check out the time, I realized that I was late just by 2 seconds. So at that point of time, I realized the importance of time. So today I'll be playing the role of a timer, and for the prepared, for the ice-breaking speech, we have 4, 5, and 6 minutes. And for the prepared speech, we have 5, 6, and 7 minutes. I'll be showing the green card, yellow card, and red card. And we have a grace period of 30 seconds. And for the evaluation, we have 3 minutes. And for the table topics speakers, we have 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes. For 1 minute, I'll be showing the yellow card, and at 1.5, I'll be showing the green, and at 2, I'll be showing the red. So we have a grace period of 30 seconds over this. And for the leadership role player, we have I'll be showing the red card at 3, and we have a grace period of 30 seconds. And I'll be showing my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Monica. Next, we have the...
Sorry, Sukhmani, just a correction. For all the table topic speakers, A green card will be shown at 1 minute, 1.5 a yellow card, and red card at 2 minutes.
Yes, at 1 I'll be showing the yellow. At 1.5,
So it's 1 minute, she'll show the green card. At 1.5
yes,
minutes, she'll
yes,
show
yes.
the yellow. And at 2 minutes, she'll show the red. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Mishaps
that's
happen.
all.
All right. Next, we have our counter for the day, Toastmaster Daljit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sukhmani. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So it happens while delivering a speech, we run out of words. And to fill the subsequent silence, we use words such as what, you know, or sounds like So if these words or sounds are used repetitively, it might sound boring for the audience, or the chances are higher that the people who are listening to you start losing interest in what you say. So how to tackle it? A wise man once said, you cannot correct a problem unless you know you have one. So I will be doing the same thing. I will be keeping a track of the filler words used by each speaker. And at the end of the meeting, I will be coming up with a report and few tips. How can you get rid of such filler words? Thank you. Over to you,
Thank you so much.
Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Daljit. And these pillars of the meeting are very important because while we always say that we do not work on improving our English, but we can always improve our command over the language. So that is why we have these 3 tag team with us. With that, let's start the prepared speeches section. That is the first section of the meeting. For the first speech we have is an icebreaker today given by Toastmaster Pratyush. But before that, I would like to call his evaluator, Toastmaster Vimika. Do we have Toastmaster Vimika?
Yeah, good evening. Actually,
Hello.
I was not expecting to be called so early. So I was doing my other stuff. Good evening, members and distinguished guests. The purpose of Pratyush's speech is to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speaking. Being an icebreaker, he is free to use the notes. Best of luck, Pratyush, and I'm sure you will do good. Okay, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mimika. So since this is an icebreaker and we always have a tradition when we have our meetings offline, we stand up when a person gives their icebreaker. Today, since we cannot stand up, let us please unmute our mics and then clap for him when the speaker has finished his speech. So with that, let's begin. Toastmaster Pratyush, the stage is my best friend. The stage is my best friend, Toastmaster Pratyush.
Oh yeah, should I start? Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I was born on 9 June 2000 to an upper middle class Indian family. My father worked in an MNC and my mother taught at a play school. As a kid, I was probably the most extroverted kid that could ever exist. I would talk to almost anyone and everyone, be it my family members, be it my relatives, be it kids my age, be it elderly people, or be it even my house elves. I just wanted to interact with everyone. When I was about 3, there was a function taking place near our locality. In that function, kids who were slightly elder to me were performing various acts on the stage. Seeing them, I felt excited and I myself wanted to go to that stage. So what I did was, I rushed towards the stage. I grabbed the mic from the host and I loudly recited a poem I had learned in my place. Everybody in the audience, including my parents, was stunned to see such confidence in a 3-year-old kid. And since that day, the stage became my best friend. In school, I did almost everything in my control to be on stage. I participated in quizzes, debates, extempores, and all other such events which would get me on stage. I even performed a lot of drama and music in my school. During that phase of my life, nervousness and consciousness did not exist in my dictionary. I was probably the most extroverted kid and most confident kid out there.
This phase of my life lasted till about class 10th. The thing was, along with being good at all these extracurricular activities, I was also good in studies. So what happened was, my dad, who himself was an IITian, wanted me to get into IIT as well. So he asked me to join IIT coachings in class 11. This wasn't something which I myself wanted to engage in. I was quite ambivalent towards this. But I wasn't repulsed to it as well, because I always felt that this was something expected out of me. So I got started with the coaching. But as soon as my classes started, my life was taken by a storm. I couldn't quite fathom what was going around. I was traveling 3 hours to attend 4 hours of coaching almost every alternate day. I couldn't cope up with what I was being taught in those classes. Within a few months, I had realized that this wasn't for me. I was particularly disturbed by the environment I was surrounded in. I remember attending one of the classes when one of our teachers said, "Kids, if you get into IIT, you will make this much amount of money more than any average human being. And even if you don't worry, we'll always have a job for you as a PN here." In this mechanical process of going to school, then traveling to my coaching classes, and then coming back, attending my classes, and then coming back home, I started to lose my identity. I was no longer the extroverted, confident, and outgoing Pratyush. Stage was no longer my best friend. In fact, I was hardly ever on stage. I grew much quieter during this time, and I found comfort in watching TV shows. They became my coping mechanism. I remember breaking down in front of my mom one day. I opened up to her and I said, "This isn't something which I want to do." She heard me out. She consoled me. And then she asked me a very straightforward question. "Beta, if not engineering, then what?" And I did not have an answer to that question. I gave it some thought, and then I soon realized that since now I've taken this plunge, there's no turning back. So I pulled up my socks, got a bit focused, and started working smartly. With this smart work, I managed to get into a decent engineering college. As soon as I entered college, I realized, well, this can be a new start now. I can actually try to be who I want to be. So in college again, I started to interact with everyone like I did in my childhood. I was talking to my classmates, to my seniors, as well as to my other batchmates. I was talking to my batchmates as well. I soon became the college social butterfly. Luckily, my college did not have a lot of workload. So I got the opportunity of joining various societies like music, drama, and debating, which got me back on the stage again. And then I participated and performed in innumerous number of events. I even anchored in my college cultural fest. And let me tell you, anchoring in my college cultural fest and hearing everybody cheer my name is one of the fondest memories I have till date. Stage was my best friend in childhood. Stage is still my best friend now. And that is why I'm here giving my icebreaker speech at Toastmasters New Delhi. I want to continue being on stage as I start working. And I believe Toastmaster is giving me the opportunity to be on stage whenever I want to. So thank you, everyone. That was my speech.
Everyone, please unmute yourselves and clap.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pratyush. That was indeed a very, very heartwarming speech. And so glad that you have stepped on this milestone and started your Toastmasters journey. And with that, I need another volunteer who would like to solve my problem. Do I have any member or guest with me? Anyone who wants to participate? I'll ask you a question and you have to answer. All right. I see Toastmaster Varun with me.
Questions like
Toastmaster
what?
Varun. I will ask the question and then Toastmaster Varun will answer. Toastmaster Varun, please unmute yourself.
Yep.
All right. So you heard the trolley problem. And some people said that they will switch and kill one person. But I'll give you a variation of that problem. Suppose you are standing on a foot over bridge on a track. There is no other track now. And the train is going. And there are still 5 people. But you have a very large person in front of you. If you push that person off the bridge, it will stop the train and 5 people will get saved. So would you do that or would you not do anything?
Actually, I wasn't able to keep track of the story because I wasn't there in the first half. So can you please?
Okay. So there is a track and a train is going on this track on a very high speed. There are 5 people standing who cannot hear it and who cannot escape that track. And you are standing on a foot over bridge and you have one person in front of you. And if you push that person, those 5 lives will get saved. So my question to you is, would you push that person? Why or why not?
Okay. So obviously I'll have to push that person because if I do not, then the other 4 person will get killed, right?
And what if that one person is your family member? Would you still push that person?
I think that is a very tricky situation. Uh, Not really.
Thank you for your answer. We'll move on to the second speech now. Let me call the evaluator for the second speaker, and that is Toastmaster Tanya, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Ashish's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sukhmani. So Toastmaster Ashish is going to deliver his second project from level 1, and the objective of his speech is to present a speech on any topic and receive feedback. And the feedback he would receive today in this speech, he has to apply those feedback in the next speech. So best of luck, Ashish. I know you are going to rock it in your pink sweatshirt.
Toastmaster Ashish, this is it. This is it, Toastmaster Ashish.
There are 138 crore people in India. And out of that, 38 crore belong to the middle class. To put that number into perspective, there are only 2 countries, India and China, who have a population more than that. No other country has a population more than 38 crores. Well, 38 crore people, but they share one common dream. A dream that one day a miracle would happen and they will hit a jackpot, which will solve all their life problems. It will be happily, and life will be happy ever after that miracle. Madam TMOD, my dear lovely Toastmasters, and all the people watching this on YouTube. That miracle happened in my life 3 years ago, when I got my admit from IIM Ahmedabad. An MBA from India's topmost B school was definitely going to be my dream, my jackpot. And I felt like this is it. This is the solution to all my problems. Now my life is going to be happy ever after. And no doubt, the next 1 year I spent in the campus was the best period of my life. I learned so much. I was like the Funsuk Wanguru, the rancher we have seen in 3 Idiots. Happy, enjoying the learning, enjoying the ocean of knowledge that is there in IIM. And when I graduated in March 2020, I was on a roll to join my dream company. Everything was going fine, and it was my time to rock. But life had some different plans. You all know what happened in March 2020. We were all taken aback and struck by this COVID pandemic. And I was too. I lost my job. The offer I had got revoked. It left me shattered. With all the courage, I pulled myself up and started applying for jobs again. I reached out to my friends. I reached out to my alumni. I reached out to my past employers. But every door I knocked seemed locked. I could not get another job. And it was so disturbing. I spent a couple of months just trying to find one more job. And the dream that I felt is going to be my jackpot turned into an education loan, which was eating into my savings. Every day, I was moving one step closer to bankruptcy. It was such a difficult time. But when all the doors seemed to be closed, when I could not find another job based on my experience, I could not find it anyways, I thought of changing my approach. Instead of finding a job, I thought of creating a job. I started my own startup. At that time, everybody was going online. Every organization was moving online. And the cybersecurity field was booming. I had a little experience in cybersecurity. And I started my startup in the same too. But do you know how your family members treat you when you are doing a startup? You will know that. Whenever somebody asked my father that what I used to do, he used to say that, oh, he's unemployed. He lost his job and is searching for one. Well, doing a startup and being unemployed is one and the same thing for Indian parents. Nevertheless, I kept working hard, kept striving, and I had a lot of gaps in my knowledge, which were pulling me back. And as a startup, I could not let that happen. I had to give it my everything. So I enrolled in another master's program. I did a master's in cybersecurity, which usually takes people, it was a 1 year program, but I completed that within 4 months. It was a huge achievement for me at that time. But when I reached out to my prospective employers, reached out to my network for jobs again, or to look for prospective clients, even my friends turned their back on me. They felt that doing another master's, doing 2 masters at a time when jobs are so scarce, when the market is so bad, was such a bad decision. And to be honest, I felt shattered again. As soon as I realized that, whenever I realized that now all my problems are going to get solved, I was taken aback every time. I lived through that hell for 1 whole year, but I did not let the fire inside me blow out. I kept on trying. I kept on trying here and there. And eventually, after spending the whole 1 year in that hell, I reached out to one individual who helped me out. You know how it is said that to succeed, you can have hundreds of failures, but you need just one opportunity to knock the ball out of the park. And that opportunity came to me when I got in touch with a team which recognized the efforts I had put in through my startup, the efforts that I put in my second master's, my whole past experience, which had led me to IIM Ahmedabad. They recognized it all and offered me a job which was all worthwhile. I took on that job opportunity to the much relief of my family members. But now, when I'm in a comfortable position and when I look back and in retrospect, I don't feel the dream I had, the jackpot I had in IIM in getting an admit from IIM Ahmedabad was the one. That was not it. It was actually the COVID pandemic which appeared to have locked all the doors for me, but actually made me so powerful that blow those doors open for opportunities. Over to you, Madam TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashish. Let us all give a round of applause for his beautiful speech. All right. So next, I will be releasing a poll, and then we can vote for the best speaker. Although I'm not able to do that right now. All right, we'll figure it out. By that time, let's discuss the solution. So how do you choose when there are no good choices? We got the answers from our team today, and most of them said that they will try to save the maximum lives, but the answer has changed if I tweak the problem a bit. And what is so interesting is that there are no right or wrong answer. This dilemma reveals that what we think is right or wrong depends on factors other than the logical weighing of maybe saving the maximum number of lives. And our choices are always made in the face of uncertain future. Often enough, the choices seem to be correct at one point of your life, look terrible in hindsight, and vice versa. And in any moment of decision, the best thing that you can do is just choose. Because the worst thing that you can do is do nothing. So the solution to this, that is my solution to this, because since there are no correct answers, decide which of the two options is harder and do the other one. That way, at least no matter how hard your choice turns out to be, you'll find comfort in knowing that you're avoiding something even worse. And with that, I would like to hand over the virtual stage to our table topic master, Toastmaster Shubham Pasricha.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guest. I remember in my school days, there was impromptu speech competition. I was full of overconfidence that I said to my host, hey, please give me any topic. I will speak on that. But when the topic came, I was like blank. But don't worry, Toastmasters is here to provide you the topic, impromptu session where you can practice, where you will give a topic on the spot and you have to speak on that for 1 to 2 minutes. Timer, please note that you will show green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. Each speaker will be given a 30 minutes on the upper side of the time limit, which is 2 minutes 30 seconds. The benefits of impromptu speech will be that you will be able to speak on the spot, which helped me in overcoming my impromptu speech after my school impromptu session, and I won first award also. Then it also helps you to develop your critical thinking, analytical thinking, and organized thinking as well. So today I will be giving you the easiest topic and you will enjoy it. I hope I am sharing the screen. Toastmaster Tushar, please help me to see, because I will not be able to see the chat. Please help me, whosoever raised the hands. First, I would like to take the member. So member, you can raise the hand first.
Toastmaster Shubham, we have Toastmaster Sahil with us.
1 minute, I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
So there are 5 different options: sports, entertainment, books, technology, and movies. Toastmaster Sahil, which topic you want to take?
Can I choose any topic from them?
No, you will choose a theme and the theme, and I will give the topic on that theme.
Okay, that's then I will go for sports.
Okay, so your topic is Toastmaster Sahil. Should cricket be included in Olympics? Should cricket be included in Olympics? Toastmaster Sahil.
Okay, regards to and all, I hope that you are in the pink of health. When we talk about cricket, so here we have a mild number of people who die for cricket. I can see Toastmasters Varun Jan in front of me. I can see Toastmasters Aryan in front of me, who actually are fond of cricket and want to hit a boundary at every other ball. And when it comes to Olympic, its boundaries rises a lot. The dignities rises a lot. There are myriad number of factors which one has to choose. There is a mix of thoughts and emotions that which game should be there in the Olympics and which game there should not be. Cricket already has its space in the market. It has its own viewership in front of the public, in spectators. But on the other hand, Olympic gives a stage and opportunity to other games, to other players to come forward in front of the public. But here, if we bring cricket in Olympic, then I think that most of the people is going to sway by the energy of cricket and won't see any other game. So Olympic is there to promote other types of games, which we don't usually see, but we see them once in a 4 year. So to put it in a nutshell, I strongly want to say that cricket has its own aura. Cricket has its own journey, and we can't compare it in any game, and we can't fit it at any podium or at in any platform. So let's Olympic be a separate from the cricket, because cricket its own self is a great game, whereas Olympics is the bunch of different kinds of games which promote hidden players and other little games which are played in the villages. We can see the example of kabaddi and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sahil. It was wonderful speech. Now I would like to take guests. I can see Munish Gupta raising his hand. So I will be sharing my screen.
Yes, please.
So, sir, the sports topic has been already taken. So you have 4 topics on your screen. Please take from there. Entertainment, books, technology, and movies. Movies. Toastmaster Munish, Babu Moshai, life should be big, not long. Babu Moshai, life should be big, not long. Toastmaster Munish.
Good evening, everybody. Life should be big, not long. I've seen some of the people at the age of 84. Maybe they do not have dearth of money. They're enormously rich and they are trying to do exercise and they eat healthy food, but they can't walk properly. So the life should not be long. Whatever life which you are living, we should live quality life. If suppose the life is long and the person is bedridden for 20 years, what is the fun of that life? It's better to have a life which we enjoy every moment. Whatever you like, every person has his own choice of enjoying his life. Some people love to dress sharply, and when people compliment, it gives them happiness. Some people loves to make money, and they're happy when they see their money is multiplying day by day. Some people want to be fit. That's their enjoyment. Some people love to travel. And when they travel, they visit different places. When they get exposure, they think in their mind they have learned something. That gives them happiness. So we should live that life till we are able to walk, talk, and we can do anything with our strength, that we do not need the help of anybody. Some of the people are in the orphanage because their kids are not able to handle, and that parents are not able to manage the things. And what is the fun of that life? It's better to die. I've seen one person was dying, but he was not able to die. The reason is, and he was struggling to die. It is better to die, and whatever life, which time period which we have in a life, we should enjoy every moment. Over to the Toastmasters, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Munish. I totally agree that we should enjoy every moment of life. And after pandemic, we can feel that. So thanks a lot for your valuable insights. So now moving on to the next topic, I want one member. So I can see Toastmaster Asta raising her hand. So I will be sharing my screen. So Toastmaster Asta, the movies and sports has already taken. So you have 3 in hand: entertainment, books, and okay. How to Toastmaster Asta, how to win an argument when you know that you are wrong? How to win an argument when you know that you are wrong? Toastmaster Asta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubham, for that wonderful topic. So the topic is how to win an argument when you know you are wrong. So this topic has been given to a very wrong person, because I am someone who loses an argument even when I am right. So when I'm wrong, I'm definitely going to lose the argument. I'm very bad at arguments and fighting, but yeah, we should figure out that we should try to win an argument even when we are wrong. So this reminds me of an advice that a friend gave me. So I was recently I was learning to drive, and on the road we know that when we commit some mistake, then everyone keeps shouting on you that how are you driving. And one of my friend, who is a girl only, so she said that you are a girl, and people when people see that a girl is driving a car, then they shout more, then they try to suppress you, and then they try to pull you down. So she said, even when you are wrong, even when you have committed some mistake, even when you are not driving rightly, then also you have to be very dominant on the road, then also you have to be very then also you have to shout at them, and you do not have to get nervous, or do not have to get suppressed by them. You have to. And then she told me that start abusing them, and then I tried to abuse them as well, but then it felt like that I am saying something very nice to them, because it didn't felt like that I was abusing them. So she said, no, this is not the way you abuse people. There's a tone that you have to use when you are abusing people. So that is something I'm learning right now from her. She is my tutor, that how to abuse on road, how to not get suppressed by people when people are trying to shout at you on road, and even when you are wrong. So that's the end of my table topic speech. Back to table topic master Shubham.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Asta. I hope you will win argument when you are right also. So yeah, moving on to the next, I would like to take one guest, which is last guest. Anusha, would you like to take part? You are raising your hand.
Yeah, okay.
So can you switch on your video if it's possible for you?
I have a low bandwidth, so I can't put on my video.
Okay. So Toastmaster of the day, can I take that?
Perhaps we can give an opportunity to another guest, since Anusha was also able to participate last time.
Okay,
Yeah, okay,
I will
fine,
show.
fine.
So I will take guest Santosh, then he's raising his hand. So guest Santosh, 1 minute. I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible? Yeah,
Yes, it
so
is.
you have books and technology left. Which one you want to take to? You are on mute. Yes, Santosh, you are on mute.
Just a minute.
Yeah, now
Sure.
you're, yeah. Which one you
Yeah,
want?
it's no doubt it's books.
Books, sure.
Yeah.
Guess Santosh, if you look the right way, you can see that the whole world is garden. If you look the right way, you can see that the whole world is garden. Guess Santosh.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Thank you, Shubham, for giving me the wonderful topic. Okay. If we have a positive approach, if we have a positive attitude, the whole universe seems to be positive. A whole universe seems to be helping us. So if we wear the yellow sunglass, everything will seems yellow. So we need to change the glass. If we wear the transparent, everything will see as clear as possible. So it is the main thing what we how we look into the world that will reflect us. If we are going looking to the positive things, everything will seems positive for us. So one example, the same I was same the law of attraction. Everyone might be aware of aware of law of attraction. So the law of attraction says positive energy attracts positive. So if we are positive, if we are positive, then we will attract positive people. If we are extroverts, then we will obviously attract extroverts. Like the how the whole world is like a mirror. How it will reflect as we are. That's it. Yeah, thank you. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Yeah,
Shubham.
thanks a lot. Yes, Santosh, I agree that if we see positive things, then everything in our life will be also positive. With that note, as we have a time constraint, I would like to end this session. But before ending this session, I would like to request the host to please cast poll for the best speaker. So can you see? Yeah, for best speaker, you can vote for the best speaker. And I would like to ask timer also if all the table topic speakers are qualified. Timer.
Yes, all the table topic speakers are qualified.
Okay. So now we are now we are taking a poll, or we will taking after the session.
We'll have the poll for the best table topic speaker
Okay,
now.
so we will have the poll for best table topic speaker now. Yeah. So with this, I would like to hand over the stage to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sukhmani. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shubham. If everyone has voted, we'll give us we'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. With this, we'll transition into a short 4-minute break. We'll recollect at 7:50. And all the guests, I will be assigning you in a breakout room. So that our BP membership, Toastmaster Ashish, can talk to you.
Sukhmani, have you launched the breakout room?
Yes, I just launched it.
Okay.
I think
Let
since
me
you're
join.
since you are the co-host, I think you can just hop
I can
in.
join. All right.
Yeah.
Sukhmani,
Yes.
or Varun, whoever, just let me know how much time will I get as an evaluator, because it's 15 minutes otherwise, and since we are running a little late.
I think we can give you till 8:10 if Toastmaster Aditya is okay with it, if we start his session 10 minutes late.
That's okay. I'll try and do it in 35 instead of 45.
No, we'll give you the whole 45. We'll just like start late.
That's all right. Chill.
All right, Malika, you have your answer there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Aditya.
So if anyone wants to have any informal discussion, we have 2-3 more minutes and we can
यार
do
दे
that.
दिया करो यार, मुझे पॉइंट्स ऐसा क्यों करते हो? मैं अभी मजबूरी में है ना, नौकरी चूज करे या क्लब को चूज करे, बताओ जरा। ऑफिस वाले नहीं छोड़ते टाइम पे।
अच्छा we are still on that topic.
की अच्छी स्पीच थी कि कितना जरूरी है नौकरी होना।
वही तो।
और आप ही उनको इवैल्यूएट कर रही हैं।
So what you can do in that case, just a recommendation, you just log in and do not open the camera. मतलब phone से ना log in कर लो एक बार And I've
मम्मी
carried
स्कूटी
on.
चला रही होती ना उस समय, बताओ जरा, अभी जान को टीएमएनडी से अब प्रायोरिटीज चेंज करवा रहे तो बीमारी है.
Chalo, we'll discuss it again and then we'll come back to.
ठीक है, कोई चिप्स खाने में इंटरेस्टेड, अपना पैकेट ले आओ.
आप अपने पैकेट से खा सकते हैं.
अपना पैकेट ले आओ.
वरुण, तुम्हारी कब से स्टार्ट हो रही है जॉब?
6 June. The offer letter just come few days ago. So 6 June se start.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Me, Astha and Shubham, all are three starting like in June only.
You know, you guys have the best friendship ever. Because you hang out together, you get jobs together, you have fun together. So good, very good.
Office location also same Gurgaon, like 3 or 4 of us, same location.
So good.
Pratyush, very well done. I mean, it was your icebreaker, so commendable job there.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Malika. It means a lot.
But yeah,
No, it's really nice. I mean, it's your first time. Icebreakers are always very special, and also I am very intrigued to listen to an icebreaker because it tells you so much about the person. So I look forward to know a person. So I was very much interested. Great going.
Thank you. I mean, I would have loved it to give it in person because then I could have, and after I saw Ashish speak, I thought even I could have stood up and spoken, but then online में इतना strike करा नहीं.
That's okay. I mean, with time, you will know Ashish is a little seasoned Toastmaster. So,
Right.
So that's the way things, but that's completely, it's okay. It's your icebreaker. You're allowed to do everything and anything that you want. You can sit and give it. You want to sit on the floor, then also you can give it.
I think personally speaking, he overachieved for an icebreaker speech. Like, personally speaking, my icebreaker was a complete mess. And if you compare it to that, you performed so well. And the story
Pace is his best friend.
Thank you, Sukhmani.
I also gave my icebreaker online in December 2020, and I was evaluated by whether Sukhmani and
To be honest, Pratyush, genuinely, you were sharing about yourself, and my mind was constantly rolling that this was not my first impression of you. I thought.
All right, our breakout rooms have ended. So we will now hand over the virtual stage to Toastmaster Malika, who is performing as the general evaluator today.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sukhmani. Okay. What if I tell you that I failed in 12th standard in my maths exam, not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times. I failed in my 12th maths examination, and I'm talking about my pre-boards. All right. Now, I never understood why I failed. All right. But then I always knew that I was never interested in the course, maths. But then after a lot of introspection, I realized one thing, that my lack of self-belief in actually doing maths led to lack of practice. And that when I analyzed that, well, I implemented that. And when I implemented that, I remember scoring a 95 on 100 in my maths board exams. So that's the power of evaluation and self-evaluation. So that's the very reason why evaluation becomes a super important session of Toastmasters. Like it said, it's the bread and butter for good speakers and for people who want to become good speakers and be confident. So we value a lot. And since we have crunch of time and since we have a session ahead, first I would like to congratulate House Gandhi for winning the House of the Month. Congratulations to all of you. It is led by mentor Yash Jain, sorry. Then I would like to congratulate Toastmaster of the month last month. That was Toastmaster Aryan Arora. Kudos to you. I wish you all the very best. Come up on the stage regularly and you're doing a pretty good job. Now I would like to call upon the evaluator of our very first speaker and an ice-breaking speech given by Toastmaster Pratyush. I would like to call on stage Toastmaster Vimika to evaluate his speech.
With this speech, I can recall one line from the Bollywood movie. जब तुम किसी चीज को दिल से चाहते हो तो सारी कायनात उसे मिलाने में लग जाती है. I unquote, when you like something from your heart and soul, the universe brings it to you. So, good evening, members and guests again. First of all, congratulations, Pratyush, for meeting the objectives of speech of your icebreakers successfully. I was so mesmerized with the speech that transition of the speech was so good that I really got engrossed in his story. He was able to hook the audience in starting itself. And going with the title, it was fully justified with the subject matter. It revolved around the stage only, which is his best friend. And now, going to the structure, he excelled on that also. The transition was so good, it was like a flowing water, which was moving so smoothly that I don't even have words to express, like it was so good. And he started his speech from his birth, then the small child, when he was a small child, and he conquered the fear of stage by just taking mic from somebody's hand. And then he moved to the school and he participated in debates and extracurricular activities, extemporaries. Till 10th, he was like this. He was participating in the on the stage. He was on the stage, actively participating on the stage. But alas, in 11, he landed on a sad stone. The phase of 11, where he started preparing for his IIT coaching, and where he had to forego his passion of stage, which was means he was preparing for the exams, but then also he was not sure that he is going to or not. He was going through hectic schedule, and but then also he tried to motivate himself. He went to his mother. She also motivated him, and she said, if you will not do, then what will you do? You have to earn, you have to do something. So he again in college, he again came back to the stage through by anchoring the college fest activities, etc. So now I would appreciate the speaker for the pauses he took, the modulation, intonation, confidence, pitch, clarity of voice, vocal variety, everything was there. And the takeaway for this from this speech would be always follow your passion. It was really a great speech, and I would like to hear more from you, Pratyush. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vimika. Now I would like to call our second evaluator, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Ashish Ghai's speech. Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi, please come up on the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Malika. So I was completely intrigued by the speech that Toastmaster Ashish Ghai has given. And I was kind of ambivalent whether I should listen to the speech or I should make my notes, because it was so engaging. And the first commendation that I have for Ashish Ghai is the visual impact he has created. He wore the I am hoodie, he knocked the door, he opened it with force to show how he was feeling at that point. The next thing is the stage movement. Like, the best thing he did is that he stood up and he had some area behind him where he could move around and feel like a stage. Then for different parts, he was using different parts of the stage area, and he had choreographed his speech like that. So it shows his preparedness as a speaker. And the third best thing about him is his speech was that he closed the loop. He started with a jackpot, with a miracle which everyone wants, And he ended with that miracle only. The miracle of hitting a jackpot when he went to IIM, and then the miracle which the actual miracle was, which was the pandemic. Now I have a few recommendations for Ashish because he is a seasoned Toastmaster and I have learned so many things from him. So the first thing I would want Ashish to work upon is his expressions. For example, when he was talking about the time he got the job, so that was a happy moment, and his face was happy, but the voice was still in the struggling zone, the time where he was struggling to work hard. So the facial expressions and the voice should match, the energy of face and voice should match with each other. And the second recommendation that I have for Ashish is that the message he gave could have been more clearer, because when the speech ended, I was like, okay, is it done? Because the conclusion could have been something like, he could have given some more examples of the jackpots which people generally get in their life. Like the jackpot we think is IIM or achieving something, and the real jackpot is the conditions, the situations in which we are put into. So the message could have, the conclusion could have gone in some ways. So to summarize my evaluation, I would say that Ashish's speech had really good stage presence, good visualization, improving upon the message and the expressions will do wonders. And the speech was very well structured. Good job, Ashish. I've gained a lot from you and would continue doing that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tanya. That was a very good evaluation. Before I give my evaluation for the evaluators, I request the host of today to please pass the ballot.
Just give me a second. Since we
Also,
have
I would like to know from the timer for today, are both the evaluators qualified? I'm talking about Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi and Toastmaster Vimika Balecha.
Yes, both of them are qualified.
Perfect.
We don't have table topics evaluated today.
No, so that won't take place today because of the time crunch and other things, other session. Okay, since our president is still working on forecasting the ballot, let's do one thing. Let me talk about, first applaud all the table topic speakers who were here today and who were so energetic to come up on the stage and speak. I think you all were commendable. So a huge round of applause for all the table topic speakers who were here today. Thank you for participation. Please come up on the stage a lot. Now I would like to call upon leadership role players to give their evaluation. I would like to call Toastmaster Aryan Arora, who will be evaluating, who is the grammarian for today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Malika. To begin with, we have the word of the day, and we have only two speakers who use the word of the day. That was I'm the villain. We have Toastmaster Pratyush and Toastmaster Tanya in that category. Next, Toastmaster Sukhmani used tweak and hindsight. Toastmaster Pratyush used fathom and life was taken by a storm. Toastmaster Ashish used shattered, knocked the ball out of the park and retrospect. Toastmaster Sahil used peak of the hill. Toastmaster Tanya used intrigue and Toastmaster Vimika used engrossed. Maybe you guys can try your hands at Shrey or anyone else you want for the Valentine's Day. We also have some incorrect usage of grammar. It was, someone used it will reflect, it should be it will reflect. Someone said will given, it should be will be given. Someone said help you, it should be helps you. Someone said people is going, it should be people are going. And the last one we have, someone said once in a 4 year, it should be once in 4 years. That was it from my side. And kudos to everyone who came up on the stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aryan Arora, for that evaluation. Now I would like to call the R counter for today, Toastmaster Diljit Singh. to present his evaluation.
Yeah, thank you, Malika. So I'm presenting a report of the filler words used by the different speakers. Toastmaster Sukhmani, Toastmaster Pratyush, Toastmaster Ashish, and Toastmaster Aryan were flawless. Guest Santosh used as more than 10 times, and the filler word more than 2 times. Toastmaster Shubham used a more than 7 times and filler words 3 times. Toastmaster Sahil used filler words 2 times. Toastmaster Astha used filler words more than 10 times. And Toastmaster Malika used filler words 2 times. And guest Manish Gupta used more than 3 times. Toastmaster Tania Gandhi, she used and as a filler word 2 times and more than 4 times. So that was the report from my side. And I would also like to add how can the Toastmasters or the guests can reduce the use of such filler words. First of all, I would say that the Toastmasters or the speaker, they should feel at ease. Taking appropriate pauses is much better than using the filler words. It's okay to be silent because the speaker appears like they are collecting thoughts, and it appeals to the audience than using the filler words. The second thing which the speakers can do, they can practice their speeches until they feel that they are prepared, because it will help in building their necessary confidence and will reduce the use of filler words. And lastly, mostly the speakers use filler words when it comes to impromptu speaking. So for this, they can make a list of the topics and they can practice at home and ask a friend to see how many times they are using filler words. So these are the few techniques. Back to Toastmaster Malika. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Diljit, for that report. Now, I would like to call upon the last leadership role player, that is Toastmaster Monica Popley, to give her timer's report.
First of all, I really want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. It was really difficult for me to focus on noting down the time, as all the speeches were really amazing. Table topics were interesting, and all the evaluations were crisp and precise. But still, I tried to manage noting down the time, as it was my responsibility. In the end, I am so glad to announce that all the participants who participated in the meeting are eligible. So yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Monica. Now, coming to the evaluations part, I will be a little brief in giving the evaluation due to time crunch.
We have our polls ready, Toastmaster Malika. So can we have the polls first and then?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So let's have first, shall I call out for
the best evaluator?
Perfect. Right. We have the best evaluator polls on the screen. I would request everybody to please be a little fast. I'm giving only 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. Also, I would request a poll for best leadership role player. We have Toastmaster Aryan, Toastmaster Monica, and Toastmaster Diljit. Perfect. Can we move on, Toastmaster Sukhmani?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Right. Our very first evaluator was Toastmaster Vimika Valecha. So, Toastmaster Vimika started by giving commendations, and they were very on point. But coming back to, I will try and focus more on the evaluations part and the feedback part of all the evaluators today. So, there are few feedbacks that I have for Toastmaster Vimika. One, while you're evaluating, there are a few things that you can take care of. one that rather than narrating the entire speech of the speaker, what you can do is probably give the one best highlight of that speaker's speech, and then move on to giving feedback, because that is one thing that we are looking forward for in this particular section. So, Pratyush, probably you could have said, Pratyush could have used his body language, because entire time Pratyush was giving his speech, his hand were closed. So probably Pratyush can use an open body language while giving a speech. His hands could be open, and probably then he could have spoken it. That's one of the examples. After that, when you're giving a close to your evaluation, probably you can summarize to what you have spoken, so that the audience can gain an entire crisp of what you've spoken. So that's my feedback for you. Then we have Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi. Well, Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi is a seasoned evaluator, and yes, it depicts in the way she has evaluated. I think her pluses were that everything was on point from the start of the commendation to whether the speaker has achieved the objectives or not, to the feedbacks given to the speaker were very appropriate, because Toastmaster Ashish isn't a seasoned evaluator or a seasoned speaker. Again, she had given a closing and a summary to entire speech. So kudos to Toastmaster Tanya. You have done a great job. And just one thing, please, whenever you come on stage, just keep a little smile, because otherwise everybody will be scared of your teacher profile. So just do that. Coming on to leadership role players for today. The grammarian for today, Toastmaster Aryan Arora. Well, Toastmaster Aryan, you did an amazing job by engaging the audience in the very start of your role. So you started by connecting with Shrey and engaging with the audience, and you posed a question. That's exactly how you posted that why grammar is extremely important, right? You were funny, you were engaging, but there are a few feedbacks that you can take. There are few takeaways that you can take care. One, whenever you are whenever you are expressing on what words were used that were really good, probably just don't take the names of the speakers who used it, because people don't remember the name of the speakers. It's about the better usage or what words were used in a good way, right? The second thing is that while you were giving a feedback of what could be improved and how it could be improved, so when you said that you did not mention the reason. For example, why people is going. You said people are going is correct. That's on point. But why people are going is correct, because people is plural. That's why it's correct. So probably that you can add on to your report. So that will give a reason to the audience why something is correct and wrong. So that's my feedback for you. Otherwise, you were great on stage. So kudos, come on stage regularly. Then we have Toastmaster and the timer for today, Toastmaster Monica. Again, a very beautiful start. You started with your own personal story of why time is important, and also it was amazing. The only feedback I have for you is that before, I think it's your first time that you are playing the role of a timer. So there were a little goof ups, which is completely fine. You don't have to worry about it. But before that, you can talk to your mentor also. You can take his or her help on how to take up this role and what you should do while presenting your role. So also, if not that, also if you're unable to connect with your mentor, then you can go up on the Toastmasters stage. There is a manual on every speaker. I'm extremely sorry. Just a second. So I'm sorry for that was my nephew. Yeah. So yeah, you can go on Toastmasters page. Even there, you will find a manual on every leadership role player and what a role player should do in that particular role. So that will help you. Details can be taken up by your mentor. Then we have the third leadership role player, Toastmaster Diljit Singh. Again, a very good start by Diljit. I would say everybody is using their personal stories while coming up on the stage to relate more to the role that they are playing. So kudos to each role player today. Again, one more thing, that you have given good feedbacks and good techniques in the end. So that is a very good thing that you have inculcated, Diljit. Only one thing, rather than taking the names personally of who used what, probably you can divide your report according to the filler words. So for example, if one filler word is and probably 5 people use it. So say and was used by these 5 people. Rather than taking each name, it will save a lot of time. Otherwise, all the 3 role players were amazing. Kudos to all 3 of you. Also, today's session, table topic session, was held by Toastmaster Shubham Pasricha. A mind-blowing session, very interactive. You had amazing topics. I mean, so kudos to you. Come up on the stage. I won't take much time. Coming to the TMOD for today, Toastmaster Sukhmani Kaur. A mind-blowing session by Toastmaster Sukhmani. Amazing way of interaction, and the topic for today was trolley. You know, how when you are in a situation of a trolley, whether you will choose path A or path B. I think the examples that you had quoted, everybody was super engaged. My only feedback for Toastmaster Sukhmani is that probably I felt that the topic could have been a little simpler, probably as in could have been explained a little more about it to the audience. And otherwise, I think the solutions that you provided and your personal belief that you had given, that, you know, you should do something, and you had given a solution in the end. So that was on point. So kudos to you on that. The entire session started on time, and everybody has done a great job. The Sergeant in Arms made sure that everybody everybody is excited for the session. So he had brought this very new idea of what's, so I think I would like to commend Tushar on bringing new ideas on table every time he comes on the stage. Thank you so much. Before we call on our most awaited guest, I would first request all of you to please cast a ballot for best role play for today. I hope I have not missed anything. Yeah, okay. So best role player, Toastmaster Sukhmani, who was TMOD for today. Toastmaster Shubham, who was table topic master for today. Toastmaster Malika, who is the general evaluator. There you go. 5 seconds, please. Oh, you get only 5 seconds. Be a little fast. We're running late. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Sukhmani, can we move forward?
Sure. Please hand over the stage to Toastmaster.
Yeah, I swear it was such a tough session, but okay. Now I would like to call upon a very seasoned Toastmaster, a very charismatic personality, Toastmaster Aditya Gupta, who is a district champion in the International Speech Contest 2021 and has hosted every year the Toastmasters International. In addition to that, he has also made to the list of top 100 speakers in India in the reality show Super Speaker. I would like to call on stage Toastmaster Aditya Gupta for sharing some lights, some feedbacks on how can we grace international speech contest. Everybody who's interested and is going forward for international speech contest, please listen to Toastmaster Aditya Gupta, and the stage is yours. Kudos to Toastmaster Aditya. Please give a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Malika. If you can see me and hear me properly, please give me a thumbs up. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Continuing what your general evaluator just shared, may I know how many of you this year are planning for international speech contest? See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a couple of you. What about others? And people who are still not on the camera, I would request all of you to turn on the camera so that we can have that virtual/physical human connect. And this is not going to be a one-to-many session where I'll just speak and you'll just sit there and listen. This is going to be a highly interactive session where we'll together discuss a few things. And I'll also share my journey of international speech contest and would also like to hear your stories as well. So that is what my intention is to achieve by the end of 45 minutes. I want to go back with 20 different stories. What about others who still haven't decided to take part in the international speech contest? Any particular reasons?
I haven't given enough speech to take part. So yeah, that's my reason.
Okay. Apart from eligibility, that is something out of our control.
I guess there are a lot of new members this time in the session. So yeah, we are all not eligible, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people in our club are not eligible, but there are some like me who have a creative block right now. So do you have anything for us who are eligible but do not know what to write or where to start from?
Sure, a lot. In fact, we're going to discuss a lot of those things. I'll quickly share the agenda with you as well. We're going to discuss the mindset behind writing a speech, the skill set that you need to deliver that speech which you are going to write. And I'll also share some tips with you which will come in handy while delivering a virtual speech. And towards the end, I also have a small gift for everyone who is willing to take part in the international speech contest. Keeping that thing aside, let's say eligibility criteria is out of the question right now. If all of you were eligible to take part in the ISC, would you still take part? Everybody?
Sure.
Pakka?
Yes.
Pinky promise? मतलब कहने की बात नहीं है सही में.
Yes, definitely.
Anybody who's still struggling with either being confused that should I not, can I not? I'll take that as a no. That's a good thing. That's a great thing, in fact. And let's say all of you are eligible to take part in the international speech contest. How many of you firmly believe that you have what it takes to become a world champion of public speaking one day? Varun has.
Definitely one day.
Ilash, Shubham has. That's it, 3. Monica has. ये सो के champion कौन बनता है मुझे ये बताओ. Is that how a champion would respond when asked? And if you want to be a champion one day, हाँ मतलब बन ही जाएंगे, कुछ नहीं कर रहे होंगे तो है ना, वो भी कर लेंगे. हाँ जी.
But if I'll be consistent, then only I can do that. That's what I was thinking.
If you will be consistent, then
Yes.
only you will do that. Okay. And what needs to happen for you to be consistent?
My willpower,
Your willpower. Okay.
dedication
Dedication. All right. And where will that come from?
from inside.
So once you become the champion, will then the willpower and dedication come?
No, I should have that willpower and dedication, then only I can become the champion.
Absolutely. So there's a concept in coaching. It's called have, do, and be. Allow me to share. All right, we don't need the sharing. I'll just dictate it to you. There's a concept in coaching called have, do, and be. A lot of people think that once I have a certain skill set, then I'll do it, and then I'll be. When I have the willpower, then I'll deliver and give all the speeches, and then I'll be a world champion one day. Do you think that works? Once you have it, then you do it, and then you be. Simple.
Usually it doesn't happen like this.
Usually it is.
It doesn't happen like this.
It does not happen like this because
first of all, it's very hard and very important to take first step. So that first step doesn't take you to the winning positions, but it's a first step which gives you the courage for which you have to muster up courage inside you to go ahead.
Okay, courage inside you to go ahead. Okay.
Also, you do not actually get to know whether you have that thing or not till the time you haven't taken the first step.
True.
Suppose we keep on waiting for the perfection, that might never happen. So we just have to take the first step and then just stay on the journey to become perfect.
एंड ये जो लोग धीरे धीरे वीडियो ऑफ करके साइड होते जा रहे हैं, इनका क्या कहना है? To answer Namita's question in the chat, Namita, International Speech Contest is an annual competition held by Toastmasters International, where more than 30,000 Toastmasters every year compete for that one coveted title of being called the World Champion of Public Speaking.
Okay, thanks.
So all of you shared your personal takes on it, and I completely agree with it. There's another perspective to it. Instead of have, do, and be, if you put be first, and then you put do then, and then have it. Once you come into the zone of being, then you do something about it, and then you actually have it. What I mean by that is, champions are not made on the competition stage. Champions are made in the off season. They are only recognized when the turn comes up for competing in a contest. That's the only place where where they are publicly recognized. So in ISC's context, that's the one day where they are recognized that they are actually a champion. Whatever, based on the fact, whatever they have done on the rest 364 days. If you feel inside that you are a champion, then you will take steps what a champion would take like, and then you will become a champion. Not the other way around. It's a mindset thing first. First, the mindset comes and then the skill set. So how many of you actually believe that you have what it takes to become a champion? Well, that's more like it. And when you actually believe it, no, even if you don't have the skill set, that's okay. I'm of course not saying that all of you might have the skill set or the mindset to become a champion right now. Maybe you have the mindset, you don't have the skill set, but with the right mindset, you will be in the area, or you will do whatever it takes to get the required skill set of becoming a champion. What do you think are some of the hindrances or challenges that people face when it comes to taking part in such contests?
Well, the first one should be the right mentorship, and the second should be their own drive to improve. And that's it, I think.
I think the most profound obstacle is self-doubt.
Self-doubt. Where does self-doubt comes in, Sahil?
I think when you think that when you start comparing yourself with others, and that's the point when the self-doubts come. I think
when you start comparing yourself with others, what do you feel about yourself?
Sometimes you start to see that X person is better than you in this area.
Who are you talking about, by the way, by saying you?
I'm just giving you the example in different.
नहीं मुझे बाकियों का example नहीं चाहिए साहिल, मुझे आपका example चाहिए.
Yeah, please ask.
So whenever you're saying you, I don't know who you're referring to. I'm talking to Sahil.
So you're asking that with whom I compare myself?
What happens to you? Is that a projection, or are you talking about on behalf of other people?
No. I am talking about myself, the little me, which has now grown up to that extent that who avoids comparing himself with others.
Okay. Yeah. Why do you think that happens?
That what happens? That I have grown up, or
no. Of course. Why would I ask you? Why have you grown up? I'm proud of the fact that you've grown up.
Grown up
you
in
don't
that
have the choice otherwise. Well, what happens when you compare yourselves with others?
When we compare, when we start comparing ourselves with
we others, again, who's this we?
we is the me in different phases of life. When I start comparing myself with others, I start to highlight what good other person have or other person is having and start to curse which I don't have. And
Is that the only way of looking at it?
No, there is also positive competition, and I truly believe in that.
Then why did you choose to take the first route?
Because this is what I have faced, and this is what I have fought with. This is what I have gained triumph over.
Well, thank you. First of all, everybody, a virtual round of applause for Sahil for being so vulnerable and being open to answering those questions. It's not easy. Sorry to put you on the spot without asking.
Thank you so much.
See, this kind of vulnerability and honesty, when you show with the audience, no, that is when you connect, when you're able to connect with the audience. How many of you felt a little emotionally connected with Sahil when he shared his true self? So this is one of the things which a lot of people are afraid of, is being vulnerable in front of the audience and thinking, hey, maybe I'm the only one who goes through this. And शायद मैं ही अकेला हूँ यार, किसी और के तो दिमाग में सब चलता ही नहीं होगा. Nobody else has self-doubt, nobody else has insecurity, nobody else has fears, nobody else has the mentors that I want. But this is a common problem across human behavior, which all of us feel, myself included. So audience in a speech, either in a contest or otherwise, is just looking for a way to look themselves through speaker's eyes. I'll repeat that. In a contest or otherwise, the audience is just looking for a way to look at themselves through speaker's eyes. And that's what you need to give them by being open, courageous, and vulnerable enough. And of course, there's a way you can articulate it. We'll talk about that when we talk about the structure that you can put your speech into. In cognitive behavioral therapy, there's another concept called thought, action, feeling. Has anybody here seen an iceberg? Even in the picture would also work. An iceberg. What's the USP of an iceberg?
You can see only the 10% of tip, rest is all inside.
True. So some people say it's 10%. Some also say it's just the 2% that you see on the outside. The rest 98% or 90% is inside the water and invisible to the eye. Human behavior is very, very similar to that. Whatever actions people do, we see on the outside is just the 2% of what happens inside, underwater. In human context, the brain, the mind. For example, let's say if this is the human behavior, the tip of the pen are the actions that you see on the outside. The rest 98%, it all happens in the mind. Whatever actions you see on the outside, they're always preceded by a feeling. The way you feel is the way you do. The way you feel is always translated by what you're thinking. The way you think is the way you feel. The way you feel is the way you do. But how you think about a situation is also triggered by something deep rooted in our subconscious mind, which are called beliefs. And beliefs are very powerful in determining how we see a situation, how we act in a situation. For example, if I believe that people are not trustworthy, when I go to a social situation, what would I think? I should not be honest with this person. I should not be vulnerable. I should not share my private things with them. Maybe they'll go out and say bad things about me behind my back. They'll tell this person that person that, I heard this person about them. If my thoughts are these, what kind of emotions will I feel? Scared. I'll feel closed. I will not feel comfortable enough to be my true self in a social situation. And if those are the feelings, what are going to be the outcome? The actions. Not being able to make meaningful connections with people. Maybe not so good at creating genuine connections. Not so good at networking. On the other hand, if my belief is people are trustworthy, they just need something common to connect with. What would I think in those social situations? What can I ask this question that can get him to get excited and talk about himself? What more can I find in common that we can talk about? What can I learn from him? What can I tell him that might be benefit to him? If those are my thoughts, what kind of feelings will that trigger? I'll be curious, I'll be excited, I'll be open towards going more social situations. And those kind of feelings will translate into actions of better networking skills, looking for more opportunities to network with people and go out, socialize. So same situation, two different belief systems, two different outcomes. This was just an example of what we believe about a person, a situation, or circumstance. How can that translate into the actual changes in the outer world? In the same way, we have a belief about ourselves. We have a belief about our skills related to public speaking. We have beliefs about public speaking as well. And beliefs are of two types: empowering and limiting. There are no right or wrong beliefs, because right or wrong is still subjective. Limiting beliefs pull you back. Empowering beliefs give you the confidence to move forward. If you believe that you're not good enough, you will act in a certain way. If you believe that even though I may not be good enough, I may not be perfect, and I don't have to be, I'm still learning, and I'll continue to learn, but I will keep moving forward. You'll take actions accordingly. With me so far? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, yes.
So even before you become a champion, no, you have to believe that you are a champion. That's when the world will recognize that Monica is a champion, Shubham is a champion, Ashish is a champion, Namita, Varun is a champion. Although Namita is not a Toastmaster yet, but maybe one day when she joins, she'll become a champion. So even before the world recognizes it, you have to recognize it for yourself and take actions accordingly. Also, can you be really honest and tell me, when the table topic master asked for volunteers in the table topic section, I saw only a few hands were raised. I would ask this question to people who did not raise their hands. What was going on inside your head that stopped you from raising hands?
Fear of the unknown, basically.
Fear of the unknown. Others?
Unfamiliar topics sometimes.
Unfamiliar topics.
Maybe I'm not good enough to participate in table topics.
And are these the only thoughts that came into the minds of these three?
What will people think?
What will
they make
people
fun
think? Will I be able to speak comfortably on the topic or not? What if I just pause after 10 seconds or 30 seconds? What will people think? क्या करूंगा मैं, क्या करूंगी मैं? हे भगवान, मर गया. ये सबके दिमाग में ही चलता है ना. तो it's common. It's मतलब मैं क्या बोलूं? You already know it. This is common.
More like if you are a seasoned Toastmaster, then the expectation is also attached with you to do well in table topics. So that
Of course. And हो सकता है ये किसी और के दिमाग में हो भी ना, ये आपके दिमाग में बैठ गया. I struggled so much with this कि यार अब मैं Toastmasters में स्टेज पे पहुंच गया हूं, अगर मैंने कभी भी टेबल टॉपिक्स में हाथ उठा लिया and if I am not able to speak for at least 1.5 or 2 minutes, ये भगवान मैं तो मर जाऊंगा, मेरी क्रेडिबिलिटी दांव पे आ जाएगी. ये कैसे बन गया चैंपियन? So most of the time, or reality है भी नहीं ऐसा. Even if I on a table topic I cannot speak more than 30 seconds, हो सकता है people think, hey, that it's okay, maybe he's having a bad day. नहीं है उसका वो 4 table topic. That's all right. Or 90% of the time, people will think the same. Hey, everybody has a bad days. Today is just his. It's just the invisible burden on our shoulder that we carry that stops us. And trust me, if you did not raise your hands here in a regular meeting during the table topic section, you are not going to raise your hands when it's the actual competition. The way you show up here is the way you'll show up there. And this is the place to make all the mistakes. This is the place to practice your skill. This is the place to being okay with making mistakes. And once you overcome that fear, no, even when you lose a contest or even when you are not able to speak for long, you'll be okay as long as you know that, hey, I tried. And even though this time I'm unsuccessful, I'll still try the next time. And that will help you defeat the self-doubt and limiting beliefs that you have and turn them into empowering ones. And you will actually be on the way of becoming a champion. Not just in table topics, not just in ISC, but this also applies in your personal and professional lives. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Makes sense? So can I have this promise from all of you that from the next regular club meetings, there'll be at least 95% of the hands raised from the club members. I can't say anything about the guests because they keep on changing at every meeting. But whosoever in this meeting is present in this meeting, can I have that commitment from you? I'll ask your club president. I'll be in touch with her. And Shrey as well. Alrighty.
Pinky swear.
Thanks, Yash. So that was about the mindset. Regarding the skill set, how many of you struggle with coming up with an idea of writing a speech? है ना, किसके बारे में लिखूं यार? इतने सारे टॉपिक हैं. कभी-कभी तो आता ही नहीं है दिमाग में आइडिया. है ना? A lot of same with me. There are a couple of exercises or very simple things that you can do to generate ideas. Very simple thing. There's a technique called the left brain and right brain technique in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, where it says at one point of time, you can only use one part of the brain, either left brain, right brain. Left brain is the logical brain, where it helps you shortlist all the ideas of which is possible logically, which is not. Right brain is the creative brain, where even though something is not possible, something might be absurd, it's okay with that, with that part of the brain. So one way is to take a piece of paper, on the right hand side, jot down all the ideas that you have in mind. Do not stop. Do not put your left brain to work and see, hey, this is not possible, this is not good enough, I don't have enough content about it, this has already been done. No. Wo sab baat ki baat hai. Jot down all the ideas that you have on right side of the paper. That's your right brain talking. And once you have emptied your head with ideas, ab kuch nahi andar, start using your left brain and see which topic would be the best out of those, out of which you can create a speech. Most of the time what happens is we are responsible for breaking our own chain of thoughts. One idea comes, we sabotage it by thinking, okay, this has been done, this is not good enough, I don't have content, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Coming up with more ideas, there are certain techniques that you can use. One is brainstorming with a group. Let's say, whatever topic you might be discussing it on, could be in Toastmasters, could be outside with your friends. That's one of the ways that you could come up with an idea. Hey, this could be a great topic for a speech. Another, listening to stories. When we are listening to people's stories, human beings have a tendency to go back in our own minds and think about an incident from our lives where we witnessed a similar situation. That's one of the best ways to come up with an idea for a speech. Next one is my favorite one, which is do nothing. The best ideas to me come when I don't do anything about it. I'm either in the washroom first thing in the morning or I'm showering. You want to come up with an ideas? Do not think of ideas. Let your brain be bored. Because when your brain is bored, it goes into the default mode where it starts solving all of the questions that it has been asking itself. How many times it has happened that you are trying so hard to solve something, trying so hard to remember something, but wo nahi aayega dimag mein. That's where you need to put your brain into default mode. And once you actually stop thinking about it, your brain relaxes and all the neurological connections start to make sense. So use this topic, left brain and right brain technique, to come up with a topic. And once you've chosen a topic, ask yourself these 3 questions. What do you want to talk about? Either you want to inform the audience about something, or you want to educate them about something, or do you want to persuade them to do something? Second question, why do you want to talk about it? Do you have enough conviction, passion, and clarity in terms of the topic? Third question, what do you want the audience to do differently after they've heard you? These 3 questions. What do you want to talk about? Either you want to inform the audience about something, educate them about something, or persuade them about something. Why do you want to talk about it? Is this something personal to you? Do you have enough passion, conviction, clarity? Third question, what do you want the audience to do differently after they have heard you?
I have one question here. You said if we have to educate the audience, then we don't know the audience, like our target audience, what we want to, because they can be from different domains. So which topic we should prioritize among the 5 different topics if we are having? So we should take a generalized topic right here for them.
Can't you
explain
explain?
how we can be prioritizing the topics? Like how we can prioritize that it should
So of
be.
course you have to see the context in which you're talking about. Let's say if it's outside of Toastmasters, it can be any of those topics. Current topics are crypto, metaverse, web 3.0, the budget that came out recently. In terms of an international speech contest, it is suggested that if you're talking about, let's say, the budget, maybe not a lot of people would be a finance enthusiast.
Yeah.
So find something that interests everybody. And if you really want to talk about the budget, take its example as one of the stories in your speech, but relate it to a bigger picture that you want your speech to talk about. Which is where the next point is, what is the one message that you want your audience to receive after they've heard you? And take a note of this acronym, which is called WIIFM. It's a short form for what's in it for me. This is one question which the audience will constantly ask themselves in their heads. They will never ask you. So if you don't have anything for the audience in your speech, they would lose interest. Why did you join Toastmasters? To improve your communication and public speaking skills. Why do you sometimes go on YouTube and watch motivational videos? To get yourself motivated. Why should the audience listen to you? What's in it for them? Talk about yourself. That's okay. That's completely okay. But also figure out a way, a message which you can share with the audience from your personal story, which could be your takeaway. And this is how, Shubham, you can relate that topic, whatever you want to talk about, to the audience perspective.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
So 3 questions. What do you want to talk about? Why do you want to talk about it? What do you want the audience to do differently after they've heard you? And once you start writing your speech, there are, of course, 3 parts to any speech: OBC, opening, body, and conclusion. What could be the different ways of starting a speech? What do you think?
First of all, reaching the audience or beginning the speech with a question, right? And or beginning the speech by a popular quote, probably.
Or maybe
Okay.
starting in the middle of an action.
Or
That's
something
what
that
we call in
gets,
literature medias res. So you begin in the middle of an action and then go
Okay.
back and come forward.
Okay.
that gets
Maybe in the form of
audiences
story.
or something
Story.
gibberish. Like I've heard someone saying abracadabra, and that gets everyone's attention in the beginning itself.
So right now, what Tushar just shared, saying abracadabra, is a very good hook for the audience. Hook is anything that grabs the audience's attention at the start of your speech. So you can either grab the audience's attention through gibberish is just one way of grabbing the audience's attention. Starting with a story could be another way. Starting with a question, stating a fact, or doing something uncanny on the stage, which grabs the audience's attention and makes them think, what is he doing? And then you take them through their speech. So these are some of the types of openings. All of them are valid. You just need to figure out which one will work best for your speech and which one will best suit your personal style the best. Towards the end of the session, I'll also share a small gift with you where you'll have a lot of things to watch, and there'll be quality stuff. And you might be inspired by watching a couple of them, and you might also think, hey, I think I can do this. But a lot of people, this is where they fail or struggle with, that if something else might have worked for this person, I can also pull this off. If that is not your personal style, if that is something you do not relate with or resonate with, don't do it. Because if that does not come out with conviction, the audience is very quick to judge it. So never ever compromise with your personal style. Do not try to be somebody you're not on the stage. The audience will catch it. That was opening. The few other types of stuff, openings apart from stories, facts, statistic, quote, question, you can also find on Google. These are the stuff, it's available everywhere. So I'll not waste a lot of time on that. Next is the body of the speech. Have the content to support your opening. It could be a fact, a story, personal stories are something that helps the speaker relate with the audience very well. Whatever you mentioned or touched upon in the opening, have the support material in the body. It could be in terms of research, it could be in terms of personal stories, could be 1, could be 2, could be 3. Do not keep it more than 3 short stories in a 5 to 7 minute speech. It goes a lot. There have been a lot of speakers who've also shared just 1 story in 5 to 7 minute speech, and that's completely okay. So have the support material for your opening in the body, and in the conclusion, have the summarizing material, have a call to action for the audience, include a message for the world that they would take away from your speech. So one person has very well put it, the opening, body, and conclusion. In the opening, tell them what you're going to tell them. In the body, tell them. And in the conclusion, tell them what you just told them. Do not try to cover a lot of topics in a 5 to 7 minute speech. The audience might get confused. Do not have more than 1 message in a 5 to 7 minute speech. The audience will not know what their takeaway is. The audience will not remember what you said. The audience will remember how you make them feel about themselves. So write your speech keeping that thing in mind. How many of you are good at writing speeches, by the way? Oh. अरे थोड़े तो अच्छे हो गए. So the reason I'm asking is, a normal speech might be written, and that's okay. But a good speech is written. A great speech is always rewritten. What I mean by that is, अगर कोई contest speech है, तो उसका सिर्फ first draft या first delivery काम नहीं करेगी. Whatever speech you have written, deliver it, take feedback, implement the feedback in your speech, re-deliver it, reiterate it, re-edit it, re-deliver, reiterate, re-edit, re-deliver it. I'll show you an example of one of my speeches. Let me just share this with you. Can you see my screen? Please give me a thumbs up if you can.
Yes, we can. Yes.
All right. Google Docs ये दिख रहा है ना, कुछ गलत विंडो तो नहीं खुल गई?
Yes, Google Docs.
Okay. So this is a work speech where whatever feedback I received from my mentor I don't know.
You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, perfect. So this was a work in progress draft of my district final speech, where whatever feedback I received from my mentors, I made a note of all of them, tried what worked, what did not work. This was a draft of all my ideas that I wanted to implement in the speech, and before the contest date, I had tried all of them. And whatever worked, I put it in the speech. Whatever did not, I threw it off. But I made sure I tried all of them. And so probably this was the 9th working draft of the speech. The first one was 937 words. The second one was 1038 words. And the final one ended up being 750 words. And not just that, I also made sure if this is the opening, body, and conclusion of my speech, I also made sure that I would analyze each and every paragraph, each and every line, and each and every word of the speech in terms of, if I was saying, are you shocked, contest chair? So was the, I have to smile at so was the crowd of 500 people when they saw it for the first time. I need to make sure that I stress on they when I'm saying it. And there was, of course, a particular reason of stressing on certain syllables and certain not. And I also made sure I took a note of what kind of an emotional tone, what pace I have to take during which paragraph. And there was, of course, some reasons which I can't go into depth right now due to paucity of time. So I had analyzed each and every paragraph, line and word with my mentor, saying, where do I have to point towards myself? Where do I lean into the camera? Where do I nod my head? During which line, where do I need to position myself on the stage? What should be my hand gesture? Not just in terms of content, but also in terms of my positioning on the stage. This was a virtual dais that I made. All the complete speech was written on the right hand side. This was my tone in which I had to say. The first one was energetic, second was inquisitive, then I went into storytelling mode, and then role playing mode, then emotional, then switching between different tones. And then during which side, if I'm role playing, Aditya would stand here, Nikhil was another character in my story, he would be here. This was a platform where I started my speech, where this was another prop that I used. This was the camera, colors, photos, lights, and all of these things I had already planned and learned it by heart. So that, and practiced so many times, I can't even tell you. So you need to plan and prepare each and everything in detail for a contest speech. And out of all of these things came this fine looking speech of 750 words with opening, body, and conclusion. And this was not just a speech for this last year. This speech has been refined for almost 4 years now. And uske baad jaake ye draft aaya. And I sometimes still work on this speech because I feel there are a lot of things that still need to work on. So always, always, always rewrite your contest speech. Do not, if you want, write a new one, but make sure you've tested it enough number of times and gotten feedback on it. So rewrite your contest speeches. Good speeches are written, great speeches are rewritten. Can I also have your attention on the screen here, everybody? And who is not on the screen, the last 4 would request all of you to come back if you can. Can all of you raise your right hands on the screen? Join your forefinger and your thumb. Do as I say, okay? Just start rotating it at its point. Do as I say, huh? And very slowly start bringing it closer to your face. Bring it closer. Do as I say, huh? Closer. And put it on your chin. Is that your chin? Is that your chin? Arey? Put your hands down. Come on, was that your chin? What happened?
You're a great influencer. That's why.
I am not a great influencer.
That's why everyone was following you.
See, even though I repeated thrice, do as I say, you did what I did.
It was
Because
really
my,
engaging.
huh?
It was really engaging.
It was engaging, and that also happened because there was no congruency in what I said and what I did. Even though you were listening to me and you heard it thrice, do as I say, but you did as I did. And I did that to tell you that if your body language does not resonate with your words, it's of no use. You will lose the audience. If you're angry, it should be visible in your body language. If you're emotional, it should be visible. If you're funny and laughing, it should be visible. If you are telling them something very light, make your body language represent that, reflect that. Your body talks more about yourself than your words do. In Albert Mehrabian's model of communication, a famous psychologist, body language accounts for 55% of communication. You can take a note of Albert Mehrabian model of communication and Google that later. Albert Mehrabian model of communication. That was about body language. Make sure if you're angry, your body language reflects that. Angry is just one emotion that I'm choosing right now. Could be normal, could be high, could be low, could be emotional, could be energetic, could be funny, could be plain. But make sure whatever you're saying, it resonates with your body. Another part you would want to take care, apart from content we talked about, this was the body language. Third is the vocal variety. Ideally, in a situation, you should always figure out the theme of your speech. If there are multiple themes, divide your speech into different paragraphs and take a note of themes. This is an emotional, this is inquisitive, this is storytelling, this is narrative, and see which emotion do you want to invoke in people through that paragraph. And when you are delivering a speech, always record yourself. When you are revisiting that recording of the speech, create a graph, y-axis, x-axis, type in that emotion and see on a scale of 1 to 10, where did you touch? And where are you currently? Where do you want to go? And what are the actions that you can take in your speech to reach there? Two ways you should always relook at your speech. One, listen to your speech with your eyes closed. Just listen to it. If you can imagine the body language of the speaker, which is you, you've done a good enough job in vocal variety. Another way you should relook at your speech is just watch it with the volume down. Just by looking at the body language, if you can tell what the emotion of the speaker is, of his speech is, you've done a good enough job on body language. If not, you know which one to work on. So always watch your recordings in these two formats. Coming to the end part, sharing some tips with you for virtual delivery. Invest in a good camera and microphone. Some of the laptops have good cameras these days. Some of them don't. If not, it's advisable that you take an external camera, or you can also deliver a speech with the phone. These days, all of the phones have high definition cameras, but do make sure that you have a good camera and microphone. Second, very important in terms of virtual delivery, have adequate light on your face. Currently, I have two lamps in front of me. One is towards my right, one is towards my left. If I turn one of them off, you can only see one part of my face. And to the audience and judges, my facial expressions will not be completely visible. So make sure that you have adequate light on your face so that all parts of your face are equally visible. Third one is very important. Maintain an eye contact with the audience, especially in the virtual world. Even this is not the eye contact you would want to have, which I am having with you right now. This is the ideal eye contact. Do not look at the screen, look at the lens of the camera. That is the eye contact in the virtual world. If you still struggle with maintaining that eye contact, move a little bit behind so that even if you look towards yourself now, the audience would still feel that you are maintaining an eye contact with them. So invest in a good camera and microphone, have adequate light on your face, maintain eye contact with the audience, be in contrast with the background. If my background is light, I would want to make sure that I'm dressed in something dark. If my background is dark, make sure I'm wearing something light. You do not want to camouflage with the background. You would want yourself to stand out from it, unless that's your purpose, which is not advisable, let's say. In a 5 to 7 minute speech, the ideal number of words, suggested number of words is 700 plus minus 100, 150 words, depending upon your rate of speech. But 700 is a comfortable amount where even if you take good enough pauses, you will still land up in that 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 30 seconds time frame. In a contest, always play on your strengths. Contest is not something, not a place where you want to try out new stuff. I've done that in the past and I've seen what that does. Hence, I will not advise you that. Whatever you want to try in the contest, make sure you've tried and tested that in your club speech and received feedback from the members. Trying something new in the contest would be like taking a huge risk. You don't know how the audience would respond. Last one, and the most important one, be yourself. Please, please, please be yourself. Do not trade your authenticity for approval. Practice like you've never won and perform like you've never lost. Practice like you've never won, perform like you have never lost. अरे प्रत्युष रोना नहीं है यार, आंसू आ गया।
I wasn't crying, it was just something meant in my...
I know, Baba, I was kidding. Good speech, by the way. Really loved your story, Pratyush.
Thank you so much, Aditya, and I really loved your session. I wish I could have participated here.
अरे बचा है अभी, रुको, खत्म नहीं हुआ। Thank you. So, वैसे तो it's almost done. I am almost 5 minutes beyond the time shared. As promised, here is a gift for all of you. I'll just copy it and share it with you. This is a link to a Google Drive where you will find the past world champion speeches of the last 35 years of everybody who's been the world champion so far. You will also find this year's current ISC rulebook. Make sure you go through it so that you do not break any rules and put yourself into trouble. You will also find the judges' ballot where you know what are the key parameters that you are being judged on. And you will have all the 3 ballots here: ISC, table topics, and evaluation. So make sure you go through all of that. And first, this was all that I had planned for all of you. If there are some things that still need to be answered and you would want to connect, here are my links to my social links where feel free to reach out in case you want to. And this is another group, a WhatsApp group where I keep on sharing some stuff related to public speaking or personal development. And since I'm also, I forgot to tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm also into corporate training, life coaching, etc. So I keep on doing those stuff as well. So everything related to personal development, child healing, psychology, so sab kuch chalta rehta hai. So feel free to join in the WhatsApp group if you want. My social media links if you want to get in touch, and most important, the Google Drive. Please download all of the material, go through all the past 35 World Championship speeches and the Toastmasters manual. And I am already 8 minutes above the time specified. Apologies for that, Madam President. With this, I will hand it over back to you.
I had a small question if I can ask.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so actually I was asking, when I'm giving a speech, so should I turn on the speaker view or the gallery view? Like when I give a speech in the online meeting, I prefer I'm also seeing how the audience is reacting to my speech. So I prefer to remain in the gallery view. So what is your opinion on that?
यार honestly मुझे भी मजा आता है कि gallery view में हो तो you can always gauge the audience's reaction. However, in a contest, make sure you ask your contest chair during the briefing that will the audience be allowed to turn on their cameras in the contest, because sometimes due to the bandwidth issue they don't allow it. So if they don't, then there's no point turning on the gallery view. If they do, then it's completely up to you, whatever you are comfortable with. Sometimes one speaker wants to see the audience's reaction, the other one does not, and it's a double-edged sword. While some of them might be listening to you, some of them would just be doing here and there their stuff, and that might distract you. So it's a double-edged sword. I would suggest in a club meeting, try out both the things and see which one works for you.
Aditya, I have two small questions. First of all, thank you for organizing this session. I loved a lot and got very good insights from it. So first question will be like, you told about you should not try new things on like contest. So I want to ask that we can deliver our icebreaker speech in ISC if it's possible, like a kind of icebreaker 2.0, where we can share our personal stories or something like that so that audience can connect with us.
Why
Like that.
not? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. So we can share like the icebreaker.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And the second question is, if I am doing an informative speech, like you told about the budget, so it would be informative, but what amount of humor should I add? Like, because in informative, you can't add humor part, but everyone likes humor more. So how we can convert informative into humor, or it's not necessary to have humor in the speech every time?
Humor is one of the best ways to connect with the audience.
Yeah, I agree. But if it's informative, then what we should do?
Why not? Informative stuff can be humorous as well. You just need
By
to figure
giving
out the right way to
examples.
do it.
By giving
By
examples.
giving examples, I would suggest if you really want some humor tips, watch stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
Some of them even can talk about politics and politicians in a humorous way. However, do not talk about those things in Toastmasters International about sex, politics, religion in any derogatory way. But you get the idea, right?
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
want
I
to put
got it.
something in a humorous way, watch stand-up comedy.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. That's
Welcome.
yeah.
Tushar, you're gonna ask something.
Yeah, thank you so much for organizing this session. So you told about vocal variety and you said that break your speech into different parts and then see what theme resonates with that part the most. And you also said that there is on an interval of 1 to 10, try to judge it on X and Y axis. But what is there on X and Y axis? I missed that.
The X and Y axis is just the emotional part of it. As in, let's say X or Y method both can be the same. It's completely up to you. It's just a way of measuring what intensity from level 0 to 10 do you want to put that in part of your speech. If that's level 8, if you are currently at level 3, so what do you need to do to get from level 3 to level 8?
Okay.
It's just a way of gauging that. X or Y में दोनों same ही हो सकते हैं, so that because we usually have the ideas of graph this and watching some dot here. So it can also be the same. Let's say emotional. This is the 10th part. I'm currently at 2. What do I need to do to reach it to 10? And then from there, you figure out, you write clear actionable steps. That maybe the content needs to change or my rate of speech needs to change. I need to feel or put in more emotions in that paragraph. It's just a way of gauging where you are, visualizing where you want to go, and bridging the gap from between.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
It's just the last question, just a small question. So I wanted to ask you, do you think that Toastmaster pathway speech objective is kind of restricting us to give a speech on a particular topic? Like, for example, my last project objective was to identify my communication style and present that in front of the audience. But if I want to present something informative, something research oriented, content, so like, how do you deal with that? Because those are kind of contrasting things.
So whatever path you've chosen, they have been designed in such a way to give you a holistic perspective of all the things that you would need as a speaker. Right now, you would say about one thing, research and development would be there in your upcoming paths. Then there would also be different kind of speeches that the path would invite you to work on and then deliver. So it's not like it would restrict you, it would give you some of the ideas where you would not have thought of otherwise. Could be an interview question, could be a product speech, could be a eulogy, could be an award-winning speech as well. Having said that, it's not necessary that you always deliver a speech from the Toastmasters pathways. If you want, with the permission of your VP education, you can also go out and deliver that. But ऐसा नहीं है कि Toastmasters pathway में आपको वो आगे जाके नहीं मिलेगा. Research and development would also be there in their pathway.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Going once, going twice, and sold. With that, I hand it over back to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aditya. That was a jackpot of information that we just got to receive. And honestly, the people who missed it really missed it. This is like such a good experience that we have got to share. And you have so much insight to give that it's just wonderful to hear everything. With that, thank you so much for coming again and delivering it. Thank you for taking out your time on a weekday. And it's 9:15 p.m. already. So I'll just announce the winners of the meeting real quickly. So the best speaker today goes to Toastmaster Pratyush Gupta for delivering his icebreaker. Everyone, please, round of applause for him. If you can unmute yourself, please unmute yourselves. No restrictions now. The best table topic speaker today goes to Toastmaster Astha. Astha. And next, we have the best evaluator that goes to Toastmaster Tanya, who is not here. So we'll move on because we are short on time. Next. And then we have the best leadership role play that today goes to Toastmaster Aryan. And last but not the least, we have the best role player today, that is Toastmaster Malika, who served as the general evaluator. So with that, meeting number 1019 is adjourned, and we'll all see you next week on Tuesday. Thank you everyone for joining in and staying this late. Thank you again, Toastmaster Aditya, and I'll be connecting with you on a personal chat. Everybody, thank you. You can have your dinners now, and thank you for joining in, everyone.